Employers often mention in their job descriptions that the candidate they're looking for should be a team player. So naturally, employees also start mentioning on their resumes that they are good team players to highlight that personality trait. But when these employees join the company, within a few days, they realize that there is no team playing required here. It's every man for himself. But being a team player, what does it mean? It is the realization that the interests of everyone in your team come before yours, and that you should tread very carefully because your actions can put others in the team in trouble. It is the willingness to defend your teammates and justify their actions even when you know they're wrong. Now, behind the curtains, you can fight with them all you want for putting you in this immoral situation. But the world should see you as one. I think you will all agree that army people around the world tend to have the strongest sense of brotherhood. And it comes from their training. Let me share a small story from my past when I had joined the military school at the age of 10. This was the first time I was away from my family, and it wasn't like a cozy hostel. At the time, it felt like hell. With my family, my schedule was only eat, sleep, play, study, and repeat. Now, in addition to all of that, I had to make my bed, do the laundry, PT, parade, gardening, clean the dormitory, and on top of that, occasionally we had grueling punishments. Like many of my classmates, I was going through this drastic lifestyle change at the age of just 10. We had a captain who was 1 year senior, and he wore a golden stripe on his shoulders, which means that in his batch of around 100 grades, he was one of only six who were allowed to punish us. Every Tuesdays and Fridays, we had a parade drill in the morning. So on the previous evening, he would either pay the cobbler to shine his shoes or spend about half an hour polishing it to a perfect finish. And this guy led by example. So he kept his shoes in front of his bed so we can all see how our shoes are supposed to look for the parades. His shoes just happened to be right next to the dormitory door, and I accidentally stepped on them. Now, instead of wiping off my prints, I was feeling proud of it. I started bragging about it with my batchmates, hoping that the captain would not find out. He found out that somebody had ruined his shoes, but he didn't know who. So, at around 10 p.m. at night, when it was time for us to go to bed, he lined us up and asked, "Who stepped on my shoes? Either come forward yourself or somebody tell me who did it, and everyone else can leave." After about a minute of silence, he yelled, "Down on the ground! Up, down, up, down." For about 15 minutes, we continued with the push ups, frog jumps, front rolls without much of a noise. Then some of us started crying out of pain. That continued for another 15 minutes. After about 30 minutes in, by this time almost everyone was crying and sweating. There are a lot of droplets on the floor in front of everyone. And you can tell the difference between sweat and tears at this point. One poor fellow, his name was Anurag, he had joined us just a week back and he was still homesick. He was actually one of the first ones to start crying. And he can't hold it anymore. He can't hold the secret. So he just stood up, walked up to the captain, and said, "I know who did it. That tall guy with glasses. I don't know his name." Now the captain yelled, "All right, everyone, stand up straight. Mahesh, come here. Everyone else, leave. Anurag, you stay back." Both of you, down. Now, I knew why I was getting that extra dose, but I was still smiling out of surprise, thinking why Anurag is stuck with me. In any other institution, Anurag would have become the new favorite of the captain. He should be in his bed right now. So, another 10 minutes in, the pain from the torture wiped the smile off my face. And after 60 long minutes of punishment, the captain took mercy on us and stopped it. He looked at me and asked me, "Do you know why you got that extra punishment?" And I said, "Yeah, because I stepped on your shoes." Then he goes, "And also because you didn't come forward sooner. If you had taken responsibility for your actions, then it was 30 minutes of punishment for you, and that's it. Now look at yourself. And look at what you made everyone else go through." Then he turned to Anurag and asked, "Do you know why you got that extra punishment?" Now, Anurag is still crying. In a very low voice, he said, "I don't know." The captain said, "This is for throwing your batchmate under the bus. If you hadn't snitched on Mahesh, then it was going to be 1 hour of punishment for all of you, and that's it. So coming forward didn't help you at all. It worked for others, but not for you." And this is how, at the age of 10, the military school drilled the sense of team spirit deep in my mind. This is how academies around the world make team players. In fact, the greater the hardship you suffer with your team together, the stronger is your bond with the team. Obviously, we cannot inculcate the team spirit in the same fashion in a corporate culture, but I have a theory about how you can make everyone in your team a team player and reduce that friction and conflicts by raising the stakes using the buddy system. I'll make a video on that in the coming days, and I'll need your criticism on the topic. So please consider taking the time out and sharing your thoughts on that when that video is out.